I have the full background on this Karen. The Karenicity is unbelievable. Put up the picture. We got her name, where she works, her boss. I want to remind you of a couple of things that happened in this video. Obviously, it is telling, right? You know, she said, and I quote, "You are hurting my fetus, my unborn child." Did you all hear that part? She said that. Why did she say that? Because that bolsters her argument to do what she's attempting to do, which is theft under any other circumstance. We will call this attempted theft if the black male went up to the white female who paid for her opportunity to utilize the device and he decided to grab it and try to take it. We will call that clearly attempted theft.
Several days later.
The dominant online narrative was that this racist pregnant woman tried to steal a bike from a black man and then made herself out to be a victim with her white tears. Her attorney later provided receipts claiming that she in fact paid for the bike, but it felt like no one thought it might be a good idea to just wait and see what the truth was before attacking her. Her employer at Bellevue Hospital was immediately contacted. She was placed on leave pending an investigation. Now her attorney is looking to potentially sue media outlets that propagated false allegations about his client. But we still don't know the full story. And it's better to wait and see how this develops before people try to destroy a stranger's life and livelihood. So, do we feel better about racism in America today? It certainly feels like we're becoming more divided. The Karen narrative flattens an entire category of people, white women, as malignant members of society whose toxicity lay dormant until they're in the presence of people of color.
Yes, welcome back. Few days now, I've not updated you on what is happening. I think I did a video about this, partaking to this white lady going after her bike. Immediately, the media erupted and called her all sorts of names. Like you saw at the beginning, I saw this lady coming forward to blast off this guy partaking to this issue concerning race baiting. Sometimes I don't agree with Anna, but at this point, I was comfortable with what she said.
On leave after she moderated a couple of employee events that made the horrifying mistake of including the perspectives of white female employees. After several years of diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings, making it clear that the inclusion part is really meant to exclude the, participation of white women. Some employees at Uber didn't take kindly to the sudden paradigm shift. Backlash from Uber workers who felt the topic was insensitive spooked the company's execs, who immediately decided to place Lee on leave. Now, the future of their longtime diversity, equity, and inclusion chief is uncertain. The New York Times writes that employees' concerns centered on a pair of events that were billed as diving into the spectrum of the American white woman's experience and hearing from white women who work at Uber with a focus on the Karen persona. They were intended to be an open and honest conversation about race, according to the invitation. Employees turned to the company's Slack to complain and express.
Sometimes I don't agree with Anna, but at this point, I was comfortable with what she said. It is something we have seen recently. Partaking to this issue of skin color, when something is happening, people don't wait to find out what is happening. They jump into conclusions because of their own grievances. They just are expressing it. I've lost a lot of people on this platform because I don't stand with people like these. If you can't see truth and call it truth, then you can't work with me. I put this video out a few days ago and a lot of people were offended because I had to say some kind of things because I had to put out some facts pertaining to this issue of skin color, race baiting. I understand some people depend on this, but when it concerns a pregnant lady and what happened from the truth we gather, it should not be happening. People stood up, insulted her, when they realized the lawyers were now enacting to sue these insane media personalities. They were struggling to backtrack. Anna did something which I appreciated. I don't know if you've seen it. Take a look at this.
As we all know, Karen absolutely is a derogatory term. Are we really gonna pretend like it's not? Employees felt the event organizers were minimizing racism and the harm white people can inflict on people of color by focusing on how Karen is a hurtful word, according to messages and an employee who attended the events. Well, it's a derogatory term. That's why it's used in a derogatory sense after someone is perceived to have engaged in bad behavior. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the workplace, you shouldn't be calling your coworkers Karens. It's just not a good idea. And by the way, just let that sink in for a moment. Employees were openly angry that they couldn't use a derogatory word against some of their colleagues. This type of work environment is just fantastic. I mean, it's not hostile at all. Look, I gotta be honest, simply treating employees equally and providing a space for some to
That is the situation going viral on social media for weeks. This is something I saw at the beginning. I neglected. I didn't even want to follow on, but it has escalated to something beyond this. Even the mother took up a decision recently. I mean, the mother of this guy who went after this lady to say, "This is my bike." We have seen that lady coming with receipt to prove that what she said on that video, she was right. She bought the bike. Now the mother of this guy took up a decision to say, "Oh, if this is happening, I'm going to sue this lady for doing that." Let me speak the truth. When I see any situation, pertaining to this issue of racism, I don't always like to step my foot or even like to partake into discussions relating to this because it always brings out the kind of bad side in you. I'm talking for myself, like how I usually feel, when I see situation like this. This was a clear situation. When I saw it initially, I didn't go into judgment. I didn't. Even to do a video, to report just, I didn't do that because I had no concrete evidence to say the white lady was wrong. I really wanted to see this guy to come forward with a receipt to prove that, he bought the bike. I didn't see.